Hello, my name is Slur and welcome back to my Minecraft Datapack tutorial series in which we'll make data packs. And this is Mr. Lactose Intolerant, which we made the last video. He has those particles. I actually tweaked those a little bit, so it's a little bit closer to the cow and stuff like that. And actually, we are just going to delete those functions right now. So let me just get rid of this. And let me get rid of those two lines. Because we actually do not want this cow. Alright. So Mr. Lactose Intolerant doesn't longer have those particles. And we can do something else with this data pack. So what I actually plan to do today is it's just a very simple jumping ability. Yeah, let's call it ability. Let's actually make it a, let's say, some form of power up. So today we're going to make a custom item, and if we put this custom item in our offhand, this custom item will disappear, and we will jump up in the air, or maybe in the direction we're looking. I'm personally for jumping in the air. This will be much more fun. So the first step in doing a power-up kind of stuff is actually making the item. And I'm actually going for the slime ball because this makes the kind of sense. And I'm gonna get this myself. I'm gonna click on Show Advanced Options. Also, by the way, we're going on this website. I will link this in the video, don't worry. And we will call this Magic Jump Ball. And we're gonna make this text kind of like green and maybe big. And we're gonna make ball underlines because why the heck not? And we're gonna type those are magic. Oh wait, this is a magic ball. And again, I'm going to make this big. I'm gonna underline it and make this green. And actually, generally speaking, let's make this all green. Except this bit, which is going to be dark green. Exclamation mark. Go on underline, do this. And this should be it. I could, in theory, make some weird symbols here, which I'm going to do now. There we go. No. Okay, never mind. Let's just get rid of this. Now we're gonna make it look enchanted. This is a little bit buggy, but because it will only look even though it will only look enchanted, it will actually not keep this look. There's a kind of bug which makes it disappear. Probably because there are no actual enchantments on it, but it will look enchanted. And also extras, you'll want to, I don't know, we may want to give it custom model data if you know how to make resource packs and you know what this is. And I'm just gonna give it here, don't worry about it if you... I will maybe make one day a tutorial on how you can give those custom textures, but for now we are just gonna leave it like this. And we could add some adventure mode flags, but we actually do not need this. And then we're just gonna copy the command, go to Visual Studio Code, and we're gonna create a function which is called ifBall. Which will just give us the ball. Make sure to make this slash go away. Gonna slash reload. And all of you have to do is run this function just like that. And we have the magic jump ball. Now, right now it doesn't do anything because we actually have to code in the functionality. And so let's say we want to put this in our offense and then it should disappear. And we should jump up. For that, we actually need to recognize this item once this is in the offense, and then we should jump up. So what the way I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on another website, and this is called the predicate generator. We're gonna have some entity properties. We just don't mind any of this, we just need the equipment here. And we want this to trigger once we have that slime ball in the offense. So let's add this. This item should be a slime ball. And we're gonna specify the MBT because we do not want this to trigger on just any slime ball. What we will do is we will take this part without the one and without the item name. Then we go here and just paste this in. This should kind of work, I think. If not, then I will just fix this later, don't worry about it. I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna Visual Studio Code. We're gonna go here and create a new folder called predicates. Make sure to spell it correctly. And then we're gonna create a new one and called hasball.json. And we're gonna just paste it in here. Then we go into the main function, create a new file, and we call it onBall. And we're gonna say execute as every player at this player position if predicate the dummy hasball. So all it does really is predicates are basically just special conditions which you usually can type in any other things that you can check for block or stuff like that, and a predicate is basically just a little bit more advanced. So if we have a ball in the offense, which is not just any slime ball but has those name and stuff like that, so we don't actually mix it up with anything else. Pretty sure we can lose this enchantment somehow because of a bug, but let's just hope not. So if we have this, we're just gonna say run function the dummy tutorial / onBall. I actually forgot to type in this tot in there, but it doesn't really matter. It will still execute that. And onBall, I'm actually going to do a item replace entity add as weapon.offense with air. So once we have a slime ball in our hands, it will actually, so yeah, this is just checking for a slime ball with those name and stuff like that. And if that name is, so if that item is exactly this item as we have it right now, we will just which is, so this checks for the item, this is calling this predicate, and once this is true, we run the function onBall, which will just remove this item. So if I did this right and I type in select reload and I put this in an offense, it should disappear. So I press F and it just got rid of the item. I'm going to give this ball again, and if I put this here, it disappears. So now what I'm going to do is, before we do this, I'm just going to give ourselves the effect levitation, and we're gonna say this is like about 1 second with the amplifier 20. Now we load again. we're gonna give ourselves our ball. And once we did that, we're gonna press F and we should jump. Which we did. Fantastic, isn't it? Now let's say we want to also land safely. So we actually, if we did this in survival, right, we will just die because of fall damage. Or nearly die. We don't really want that. What we want is to just land safely. And we could just simply do that by also giving us a slow falling for maybe a bit longer, let's say like 20. Let me just say a 0, which will, and if you type a 0 in here, it basically means slow falling 1, so don't get it confused. We're gonna reload again, we're gonna give ourselves our ball, and then we're going to reload. Oh wait, no, we don't reload. But we should get slow falling now, which is, well, it definitely saves us from taking fall damage, but it's also, yeah, we also have to time it and stuff like that. And we don't really like that. So, alternatively, you may want to use something like a scoreboard, which is basically just, scoreboards are used as a kind of variable to make sure you can time things or something like that, or have like, or count stuff. Or just if you want to do something with HP, you would also use scoreboards. But this will get a little bit more complicated. So what we have to do first is to create a scoreboard for this. So let's actually make a function and call it create scoreboards. And what we want to do is, as right before we actually land, we will want some levitation. So we actually do have to time it a little bit in order to do this, but let's just not worry about that. So what we're going to do is on reset, we're going to call this function like dummy dot slash create scoreboards. Actually, let's make this before the greetings so we know when it's done creating the scoreboards and stuff like that. So let's say scoreboard objectives add, and we're gonna give this a name. So let's say landing underscore tick, and we're gonna say dummy. This basically means we don't actually want to count anything, but it's just going to, well, do nothing basically. So now we have actually a scoreboard, which every player should have. So if we reload and I look at my scoreboard, objectives, list, and we got a landing tick. So we're gonna go to players get the dummy landing tick, and we get the message that this is not set. Now here's the thing. On data packs which are in single player, we don't actually have to worry about too much about who gets a value and who doesn't. We just have to simply set it here. But you don't know if someone is going to join the world later and actually, well, gets the value or not. So what you're going to do is we're gonna work with tags once again. So in main, let's actually make a tag giver dependency function. And what we're gonna say is execute as every player, which tag is not. If you write an exclamation mark, you're going to execute this as every player which has not gotten this tag. And we want to call this tag as score with an underscore, because we don't need an add s. We don't need the add s because we don't want to do anything with positions and stuff, but you can leave it if you want. And we're gonna say, gonna make another function which is called give scores, or give default scores. I don't care how you name it. So we're gonna run the function dummy hot slash give scores. And what we want to do here is we want to get the objective from here. We're gonna copy this and we're gonna say scoreboard players set add as. We could paste it or just choose it here because we have Visual Studio Code and the extensions for this. And we're gonna set this to 0. Now this is going to constantly execute, which we don't want, which is why we have the tag giver right here. So if we do not have the tag, then this will execute. But if we have a tag, this will not execute. And because we don't want to lag the game and constantly set our score to 0, which we also don't want because we actually want to do something with this value, we're just gonna give ourselves this very tag. So we're gonna say tag add as a score. Now we're gonna reload the game, set the weather to clear once again. We have reloaded this, I think. I'm just gonna do it again because why the heck not. And we're gonna say scoreboard players get the dummy landing tick. It's not set right now because I must have done something wrong, and it's probably right. We actually need to execute the tag giver, so let's just do that function. The dummy /tag slash tag giver. So it should look like that. Then we reload. And now let's get my scoreboard. Players, no way to get the dummy landing tick, and it is set to 0. Now where we have it, we also have the tag dummy list, and we have the has score. So what we can do now is set our score to, let's say 10, and if we list again, nothing changed here, and if we get it, it says 10. Now if I were to remove the has score, then this is immediately going to reset, and we have it at 0 again. So now we know that this is working. Let's just actually set the weather to clear again. And no wait, time set day. I'm stupid. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we have a way to keep track on time, basically. And what we are going to do is we're gonna make a score tick .mc function. Yeah. And then, which is basically just saying execute as a, so as every player, run if score at s, so ourselves, if as every player, if our score landing tick is, let's say, greater than 0. This actually matches 0 or above, or let's say actually 1 or above. Run scoreboard players remove add as landing tick 1. Basically what this is saying, I'm just gonna make it as every player, we're gonna have the individual score, and if this landing tick score is above 1, we're gonna basically take away 1. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to function with dummy cut slash score tick. Make sure to make it after the tag giver. And we're going to reload. And I'm actually just going to make the scoreboard. I'm just going to set the display at the sidebar for landing tick, so we can actually see it right here. And if I were to give myself, let's say, a score of 10,000, you can see this is slowly going down. And this is very beneficial to us, because now we can say in here is on ball, we're going to give ourselves a scoreboard, players, add as landing tick, let's say 800. We're going to reload, and I'm going to do a tag with dummy remove head score, and this should reset it. And now I'm going to give myself the ball again. There we go. And now we see we have 100. And it goes down. And I'm actually going to remove this right now. Reload. Myself the ball. You were not supposed to give this. Did I save it? So we see we have lost like 60 or something like that. So what I'm going to do is, let's just set this to 60. Then we're going to reload again. I'm going to give myself a ball. And if we saw if it's something like between 0 and 10, then we are just about to land. So what I'm going to do is go here, and in score tick, we're going to say execute as at a if the score at as landing tick matches 1 to 10. So this is if our score is between 1 or 10. If it's between 1 and 10, we're gonna say run function. Let's say run effect give add as slow falling for maybe 1 second. The amplifier should be 0, and we're gonna say true. We're gonna also say reload. Weather clear. Actually, let's say weather clear 1 million. And then we're gonna give ourselves the ball again. And we landed safely because we got slow falling. I'm actually going to go into my inventory so you can see it. So you can see me getting it. And we landed safely, and that's how you make a basic power up with a data pack, which just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 functions. And now I'm going to make it a little bit more organized. You don't need to do this, but it will definitely help you out in the future, so you don't have like millions of functions in just one folder. So I'm just gonna do a magic ball folder in which I'm going to put the give ball in. You're gonna do a give scores, not, but maybe the on ball function as well. And then I'm gonna make another folder for utils, or wait, for general. And this is going to have these in there. Not those. And now we should expect a lot of errors somewhere. Not here, but Also not here. Also not here. But once we're running a function, this should give us an error. So what you're going to do is general / give scores. And another thing which we have to do is in main, the tag giver is in general. So let's do a general / and here also a general / and over here on ball is the magic ball, so we're gonna supply magic ball / on ball. So yeah, let's do another reload, and I'm going to show you that this is not working with the general slime ball, as you can see. So we can still use slime balls, but if we use, oh wait, no, it doesn't work because we're gonna type in magic ball / give ball. It should still work with this. And it's shortened. And we could make some particles. So now when we are done with the functionality, we're gonna do a little bit of polishing. So what I'm thinking about is that onBall is going to summon some particles, which will make the things look a little bit nicer. So particle, let's make some cloud maybe. And we're gonna do this position. Let's actually make it one higher, so it's kind of actually, no, that should be fine. And delta 0, 0, 0, speed 1, count 10, pause it, and we want to make it visible for every player. Do not ever type SE. Whoops. Let's overwrote everything. Let's do a reload. Give myself the ball. And this made some ball particles. Nice. Now I also want some explosion particles, maybe 20 of these. This doesn't look very good, so let's actually add some more to the delta. This is just going to spread it out, I think. Yep, that looks kind of good. Now let's add some flames. Should we go for small flames now? I think we should be fine. Reload. Give ourselves the ball. Give out some more of these and spread it out. And yeah, one thing I just want to mention is that once we do this, it's going to take the entire stack. So make sure not to put this in the offhand. You just want to put one in your offhand. So yeah, this seems to be working nice. We could actually hide this by now, but I'm gonna let it stay. We can make this go away by just... I actually don't know how you can remove it, but you can maybe put something else there to hide it. But yeah, it should. So now we have the particles. The next step will be adding some sounds. So let's make a play sound. I would go for entity.generic.explode maybe. And I'm gonna make it go onto player. That is the sound category, which is controlled with this. So if we turn this off, it should not make the sounds. I'm going to turn this on because that's cool. And then we're gonna say the position is here. Oh wait, player. Add the one that's here. Volume 1 maybe, or 2. Pitch 1, that should be the default. 0 is deep and 2 is very high pitched. I'm gonna go with 1. Minimum volume is gonna be 0. This is basically the minimum value would be, if I would set this to 1, then you could hear it on the entire map. If I set this to 0, you could not hear it on the entire map. if I set it to something to like 0.1, then you could hear it a little bit on the entire map, but I'm going to set it to 0. That is the minimum volume. And I'm going to have another, let's say, drag and a dragon on shoot. And it's also player at a volume 0.2, pitch 2, minimum volume 0. You don't even actually need to give it here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now I'm going to reload, give myself the ball, make it day again, okay. And we should go high up in the air. So yeah, to show you that it actually played every sound, I'm going to turn on those subtitles. So yeah, you can see the dragon shoots and the explosion here. So yeah, that's how you do that. And so we're done with the functionality, we are done with the polishing. We could add a recipe for this, but it's not like the usual recipe where you have like the custom item as a result of the crafting table and stuff like that. Rather, I would actually say something, do something creative, like if we have an item here and you probably another item in there and then it's suddenly spawns in or something like that. Now make a command block which gives you the item. I don't care how you do that. I'm going to go through this in the next video on how to make a creative crafting system. So yeah, a little bit creativity will go in there. Maybe we're going to make like a smithing table, and once I look at it and have one item in the hand, it will turn to that item. I don't know yet. Maybe leave a comment if you have an idea how we want to craft this item. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!